Right then, so this one is this is the legal action update. Where are we on this? Well, um, so we're now up to, we've now surpassed half. So we've now gone over £5 grand. That's how much you've sent in. And as I said last week, core blimey, does that blow me away at the response of people and what people seem to think, what you seem to think of the way that some of these things are being done. You know, some people are saying, why are you even bothering? But it's just to get that level playing field, which those of you that have put in for this totally understand, and you totally get it, and you get the monopoly and you get the price fixing. Some people don't get it, but you do. You get the price fixing and the monopoly idea, and like me, you like the idea of breaking that. There's no further forward as in solicitors or anything like that. As you know, we've got to get 10 grand in. So I suppose what I need to be doing is going, right, let's have another push. But I don't feel like that. I'm sorry, I can't do that. All that, let's have a push. When people do that, it's almost like begging, you know, oh, do it again, let's have some more, and that don't sort of, no, it's not what it's about. So, we're just going to let it run smooth. I showed you the screen of it last week. I'll do that again next week. It would be over £5 grand next week. Well, it's over £5 grand now, but when I'm showing it to you next week, it'll be over the £5 grand, if you see what I mean. So when we hit 10, we'll go looking for the solicitor. And by the time we hit 15, we'll be ready to put the money on the table for him, and we'll have chosen a solicitor, and we'll be going ahead with it. I have had communication from the Royal Mint, and I can't help smiling because it seems that their solicitor wants to give me more of a bollocking for not understanding the protocols of initiating legal action than worrying about anything else. And in fact, I'm going to read you the letter. I'm going to go and get the letter, and I'm going to read. So apparently, I've looked into this into the Royal Mint authorised seller, retailer, distributor business, and I thought to myself, well, surely I'm a Royal Mint authorised retailer then, because I went to the Mint. I said to the Mint, I want to buy from you, and they said, we will put you with a distributor, and you can go and officially buy from them. So I go to the distributor that they send me to, even though it is in a different country, and I buy from that distributor. I buy from where the Royal Mint tell me to buy from. In my opinion, that makes me a Royal Mint authorised retailer, because I'm authorised to buy off the wholesalers that they directed me to. And so I wanted to be able to put Royal Mint authorised retailer on all of our listings. I've put it on some, but I haven't put it on all. Anyway, this is what the Royal Mint say. I confirm this is not, this has been passed to me as it's a legal agreement. I confirm this is not a sales channel or route to market which fits with our overall sales and marketing strategy, and is not something we wish to pursue. I am returning the paperwork. For the avoidance of doubt, pardon me, we do not recognise you or your business as an authorised Royal Mint retailer. Well, that's nice, isn't it? That's charming. You told me to buy off these people. I buy where you tell me to buy. That means you authorise me to buy from these people. These people wouldn't put me on their books if you didn't authorise me. So I should be replying to them and saying that. I should be saying to them something along the lines of, you told me to buy from these people. I buy from where you tell me to buy from. Therefore, you authorise me to buy from there. So I'm an authorised retailer. I don't get it. I don't get how I'm not an authorised retailer. I buy the Royal Mint products where the Royal Mint tell me I've got to buy those products from. And they tell me I'm not an authorised retailer. So I wrote to them because I wanted to open up some dialogue. So I wrote to the Freedom of Information Department because I didn't have the right details for them. Didn't know who to write to, but I knew if I wrote there and said we're now looking at legal action and this is going to happen unless you sit down around the table with us and communicate with us, it would get to the right person, which it did. So, thank you for your email. This is their solicitor. Thank you for your email. Owing to the seriousness of the allegations which you make, we will treat your email as a letter before action. We note, however, that your email is not made in accordance with the practice direction on pre-action conduct and protocols under the Civil Procedure Rules 1998, or whichever protocol you consider appropriate depending on the claims you make. Did you get that? Did you actually understand that? Or are you a bit like me and did you just hear? Because that's all I heard. Didn't get that at all, you know. But then again, I'm not legally trained. I didn't go to law school for 6 years to learn to be a lawyer. I didn't have to read all these fancy books with all the long words in it. I didn't come from that kind of a background. I'm sorry about that. I come from an East End secondary school background. We didn't have all of this. I had CSEs when I was at school and I failed them. Anyway, so that we're able to consider the merits of any claim you make and to respond accordingly, please provide us with a protocol compliant letter before action. Please be aware there are legal consequences for not complying with the relevant protocol as part of any pre-action conduct. We strongly recommend that you seek independent legal advice on this matter. Yours sincerely, Chris Simpson. We will be seeking independent legal advice on these matters. But we're not stupid. We're not going to the solicitor till we've got 10 grand in the bank. I see that as chastising me more about protocols than anything else. I don't think a judge is going to care about protocols. I don't think a judge is going to care that I didn't understand protocols. I think what a judge is going to care about is right and wrong. You can say what you like about our law and order and our English court system and all the rest of it. But there's a couple of things that I think are about this country, in a way. We don't like being told what to do. Us British, we do not like being told what to do. And when I say British, I mean all the immigrant people all over that now consider themselves British. It's like a British kind of mentality that it rubs off. Don't matter whether you arrive here from Italy or Pakistan or wherever you might come from, you ain't got to be here that long before the old Britishness rubs off on you a bit. I suppose if we lived over there, it would rub off on us, their culture. But part of our culture is we don't like being told what to do. We don't like being and not understanding what we're being told off for. We don't like that. And we don't like being told what to do. And there's another thing about the British. There's this sense of fair play and right and wrong. We have a weird sense of fair play. I say weird compared to other cultures. It's weird. We invented queuing up for things, standing in line, taking one's turn. Sense of fair play, even when it comes to getting something at the counter. A sense of fair play, a British thing. We've got that. And you can say what you like about our judicial system, but for the most part, it is run right. Yeah, there's odd things that happen here and there that we're not happy with, but on the most part, our judicial system is bang on the money. You know, the judge cares about what's right or wrong. We've gone past the days of sending someone to Australia for nicking a loaf of bread. It doesn't happen anymore. Judges actually sit there and they take notice of what's going on and they use logic and common sense. And I think a judge is going to be more inclined to bollock them because their sense of fair play is out of the window than bollock me for not understanding the protocols of the court. I don't think a judge would be bothered about that. I don't think a jury would be bothered about that. Imagine telling a jury and somebody's got the protocols wrong, and you want to put that over fair play and what's right and wrong. I don't think so. I think they're more likely. I think when it eventually goes, and besides which, lucky for us, it's not me that's going to do the talking. If I was going to do the talking, we'd probably be in trouble. But it ain't going to be me that do the talking. It'll be the solicitor that does the talking. And once we instruct one, it'll be him that takes over the writing of the letters. But in the meantime, we might as well have a bit of fun with it, I suppose. So I shall be writing to him, and in my own way, and I'll let you know what I say to him. I won't be rude, but you know, I will be sort of saying something along the lines of, I think you might be, you might be worrying about the wrong area here. Don't think anybody's going to care about the protocols. I think they're going to care about the monopoly and what's going on. So that's where we are. We're up to date on that. We've stopped taking payments by PayPal, as you now know. We have lost a little bit of money. John's account got limited on us now, so now I've now got to get the money out of that other account. But we're dealing with it, and you can now pay by WorldPay on our own website, and it's worked now. So we introduced that, I think we introduced that last week around the Thursday, Friday time, that I think it finally got installed, and we got, or was it earlier? It's only been about 4 or 5 days anyway, and we've had a first payment through. So it takes about 4 or 5 days, and then we get paid out by them, and it all comes through in like large lumps, not individual lumps. So so that works. So you can carry on. You can pay by WorldPay, and if you want to put some more money into the pot, you can. The one thing that I would ask you though is, don't put into the pot more than what you can afford to lose. That's what I'd say. You know, we have to assume, even if we know we're gonna, it's the rights on our side and all that, but at the same time, you know, you have to imagine, well we could lose, and if we lose, I don't want anybody doing any crying. So don't give me any more money than you can afford. If you can afford 25 quid, wonderful, thank you very much. Some of you have put 500 quid in. It's not for me to say whether you can afford 500 quid or not, because that all depends on someone's personal circumstances. But because of the chat I had with the customer before about almost wanting to put in their life savings, you know, I do think that needs mentioning. I do think I need to say, as much as I want you all to put in for it, don't put in more than you can afford, please. Just put in what you can afford. I mean, if you can afford 500 quid and you want to put it in, God bless you, you know. But if you can't afford it, don't put it in. Just put in what you can afford. You might have 500 quid in the bank, but if you can only afford to put 50 in, just put 50 in. Don't empty it out thinking that this is going to be the world's best thing since sliced bread and you're going to get paid out and it's all going to happen quickly and we're all going to earn loads of money. And don't do that. Just, we'll have a bit of fun with it. It's going to take a long time. It's not going to happen very quickly. I imagine that even if we do get to first base and break part of this monopoly and one thing and another, it ain't going to happen for another year or two. The only saving grace in that is that however long they make it take, that's how long that we've got to argue loss of earnings, loss of profits and all the rest of it on the unfair way that it's working. So the longer they take, the more expensive it becomes for them. However, that means it does become more money for us in that sense, but that's only if we win. So I do want lots and lots and lots of people to put in a little bit, and I am grateful and do want the large lumps. I mean, who can say they don't want the large lumps? Of course we do. But I'm just asking and making sure, and belt and braces, and just making sure and checking with you. Please, 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 don't put money into this pot if you can't afford it. Don't put money into any pot if you can't afford it. I want investors, but I don't expect you to put in all you've got. You put in, you know, always put in what you can afford to lose, as it were. Not put in everything you've got all into one basket. Spread your risk. That's what I always say to people. So don't put into this unless you can afford to. All right? But we're on the way. We have their attention. And maybe within a month or two, we'll be sitting around a table having a cup of coffee. That is where we need to aim for. Don't particularly want to go to court. Let's sit down. Let's have that cup of coffee. That got wrong then. Let's have that cup of coffee and sit down in a chat and a donut and sort out what we can do. Anyway, so that's where we are on that. Over halfway. Phenomenal. Thank you. And over to you for the next week. Thanks a lot.